It's not that the healthy foods are don't taste good. So make it more palatable so that you are naturally gravitating towards healthier foods.
Hi, I am Alu, and I'm your host at Fiterobic. Welcome to FitnessProChat, the podcast by Fiterobic.
Welcome to Fitness Pro Chat by Fiterobic. If you're looking to improve your health and well-being to lead a healthy, fit, and fulfilling life, whether you're an amateur or a professional athlete, this podcast is for you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. Today I'm joined by Purnima Aiyar. Purnima is a coach with multiple talents and has been training enthusiasts for over 10 years now. She is an ACE certified group fitness instructor, ACE certified personal trainer, NASM certified women fitness specialist, functional movement specialist, Zumba instructor, and Pilates and yoga teacher. Let's discuss how we can make sustainable changes to our health journey with Purnima today. Welcome to the show, Purnima.
Thank you. I'm really excited to talk about this topic because this is something that I have been doing for the last 10 years, helping women adopt habits that they can stick with for the long term and really create long term good health. So, thank you so much for having me here. And I'm really excited to share my thoughts and talk to you about this.
Sure. So, my first question that I have for you, typically in our health journey, people usually start, but then they take a break and feel they get lost somewhere in this process. What is the first step in making sustainable changes to one's health journey and why it is important?
The first step that I would say is a good assessment of where you are, where you want to go, and what are the constraints or barriers that you face in your life. So typically what happens is we look at other people and we set goals, or we set goals that feel like we should also be doing. And what happens is we unconsciously set ourselves up for failure. Now, for instance, you could be enrolling at a gym which is about an hour away from where you live. So then what happens is it becomes tedious after a point. So you're not able to
Absolutely.
sustain that. Or you could be enrolling for a virtual class at a timing where your children need your attention. So then again, you're
Yes.
not able to stick with it, but you're so enthusiastic initially and you're enrolling for that program, you're joining that gym, but somehow you have not taken into account what are the constraints and barriers that you could face in that journey to going from where you are to where you want to be. So I would say that the first step is that honor your own life, take a hard look at your life and your environment, what is possible unto you, and set smart goals for yourself. And when I say smart, it is being specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. So these have to be something for you, which you set, keeping in mind your life stage, circumstance, and everything. And when you do this, you will make better choices. And especially when you're starting, you want to feel successful so that you can continue on this journey. Otherwise, you get derailed and then you're not able to see the results which you can if you continue.
So, would you also suggest some of the daily habits and routines which typically people should follow so that their health journey is not derailed?
Yes. So, great question. Habits are really important because most of our choices that we make are typically subconscious choices. So, our brain is designed in such a way that we will choose an option that involves least resistance. So, which is why it is important that we use our conscious mind to construct our habits and environment in such a way that it becomes easy for us to make that healthy choice. So, if you look at, say, the health space, you could look at five broad categories of nutrition. You can look at exercise and movement, sleep, stress management, and mental and
Yeah,
emotional health. So these can be the
true.
five broad categories. Under each category,
Exactly.
you could look at a few habits. Now, if you look at, say, nutrition, simple
Uh-huh.
things like looking at eating 2 to 3 cups of vegetables, keeping yourself hydrated, 2 liters of water, getting some time out in the sun, say 20 minutes of sun time, including whole grains in your diet, and not
Yeah.
eating too much, having a balanced meal plate. So
True.
when I say balanced plate, having half your plate fruits and vegetables, quarter plate protein, quarter plate grains. You know, these are some of the habits under nutrition. Then when you look at movement and exercise, you could look at doing 30 minutes of focused movement practice. It could be strength training or yoga
Yes.
or some kind of endurance workout. Then you could look at being active. 6K to 10K steps is something you could aim for. So
True.
that's a habit, a
True.
movement based habit. Then, when it comes to,
Absolutely.
say, stress management, you could have a breathwork practice or a meditation
Yes.
practice or a journaling practice or spending time in nature. These are some of the things under stress management. When it comes to
Uh-huh.
sleep, you can look at having 7 to 8 hours of sleep, having a simple sleep routine are things that can help
True.
under sleep. When it comes to mental
Yes.
and emotional health, you could look at having a good support system, good relationships, the ability to articulate your emotions clearly can go a long way in making you mentally and emotionally healthy. So, my advice would be this can sound like overwhelming and too much, right? Too many habits.
Yes.
But anyone can get started. You can just pick up 2 habits to focus on.
Yes.
So, so the habits should be something that you really want, are motivated to make, ingrain into your life. Pick those habits and repeat the actions. And once they are firmly ingrained, you can pick
Yeah.
another habit. So this is like a journey, right? So we are on a fitness
Absolutely.
journey. It's not something that ends tomorrow. It's a lifestyle. So we have enough time to get started and just keep going.
Absolutely, and very rightly said. Nutrition, exercise, stress management, mental and emotional health. So, all these five aspects that we need to cater in order to lead a healthy life. The question that comes is how do we form habits around these five parameters or pillars? Which is absolutely difficult for majority of the audience out there to form a habit around these five things, follow them religiously almost every day. What would you suggest to all of us so that we stick to these five different pillars of healthy life?
So I would say some of us are already good at certain aspects. So the first thing is you can just create like a quadrant and, just reflect on where you stand in each of these areas. Some of
Yes.
us are already doing some movement and we are active, while some of us are, already eating healthy foods. So each of us will have a strong area, and we will have some weak areas. So
Yes.
it helps to identify where you stand. So do
True.
that first. Second, pick up, instead of so many things, just pick up one quadrant to work with. So maybe it's nutrition. So you can pick up just one thing, which is 2 to 3 cups vegetable,
Yes.
and just stick with that. So I would like to share with you, I have this community that I'm building
Okay.
where, yeah, so where I get everyone to participate in these 5-day health challenges. So,
Okay.
so the each week we pick up
Hmm.
any one habit. So it could be in the area of nutrition or sleep or
Yes.
movement or stress. So it could be 2 to 3 cups vegetables. So we stick with that for
Hmm.
5 days. Where everyone
Okay.
tries it out, and it gives you a
Uh-huh.
sense of what is possible, and
Yes.
also paying attention to how that habit made you feel. And when you feel
Absolutely.
that this is really working, makes me feel good, your brain
Uh-huh.
is getting that motivation to repeat that habit, repeat that action,
True. True.
and that can help in creating that habit. So be part of communities like that where you have a group of people who are equally
Absolutely.
invested in their
Yes.
health. So
Yes.
that can really help you stay motivated.
Absolutely. I think that's a very nice point that you have said, because as humans, we are social and we want to be part of groups. And it's always we keep learning from each other in these communities or smaller groups. One of the questions that I have for you is people often aim high but forget to start small. All of us in our health journey, we immediately try and want to reach the top of our game on day one itself. And that's where most of the problems start. So, how to deal with this kind of mindset, and how do we correct ourselves in the first step so that we take a right step to move in the right direction?
Yes. So that's a great question. I would say that the first thing you should do is shift your focus from how you look, how you want to look rather, to how you feel. You know, so in
True.
the world that we live in, right, we are caught up with all these imageries. Like I said, we look
Yeah.
at all these really fit people, and we want to be fit like them, right? So that
Yeah.
tomorrow people look at me and they'll be like, "Oh wow, she's looking great." So our focus is mostly on that. But we need to focus on
Absolutely.
how we feel, right? So when I
Yes.
start to focus on how I feel, I realize that something as simple as just hydration, just focusing on my hydration, having 2 liters of water
Uh-huh.
consistently makes me feel good. You know, it's a
Absolutely.
small, simple thing that I did, and I was consistent with it, and I saw this feeling. But then when I focus on
Uh-huh.
how I look like that, and I want to become like someone else, then first of all, I'm not enjoying this journey because I want to get to my end goal, and then I get frustrated because that requires a whole lot of different things to do, which my environment may not allow me to do those things, right? So,
Yes.
so that's one of the things that I started this conversation with. Assess your life and honor your needs.
True.
Some of those things may not even be necessary for me, and so it's very important. Aiming high is great because when you aim high, you're allowing your mind to think big, and it's a very
Yes.
empowering thought. And to have like a long-term vision is great. But then I need to then come down to having these short steps. Like I said, a SMART goal, right? A time bound little goal that gets me to that next step. Having a bigger vision
True.
is fine, but that vision has to be aligned to who I am and what's going to make me feel good at the end of it.
Absolutely. Very, very rightly said. And what lacks is patience. Often we are impatient, we lack in terms of adopting things or making changes in our lives. So, how can we become patient when we are trying to adopt a healthy lifestyle? Uh,
Yes. So patience is key in every aspect of life, right? So it is not
yeah,
just health and fitness, it is everything. And the whole important thing is that you remain on that path and
true.
you need to walk that path. And it's okay to get derailed or stop or take rest. But then you continue on the path for you to actually experience the benefits of. So, what is
Yes.
important is that getting derailed is not a problem. It is
Yes.
staying there. So, what is important is
Yes.
you recognize that you're getting derailed and coming back on the
Yes.
path. And like I said, focus on how you feel, and anything that
True.
makes you feel good, you will automatically want to come back to it. So that's what happens in a lot of
Absolutely.
these, once you've taken the path and you have experienced some benefits, you can always take that path again, right? So that is important to be patient. Results don't happen overnight. Rome is not built in a day. So
Very true.
we need to focus on small goals like stepping stones that lead you to your long-term vision for yourself.
So you mentioned Rome was not built in a day, and obviously we are all human beings. Our lives are unpredictable. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And derailing is of on certain things, especially life goals or personal goals or professional goals, is quite common. So our lives moves in a wavy format. So how do we try and stick ourselves, or at least come back after such upsets in our life, so
Yeah.
that we don't feel guilty? And this guilt is something which really stops us again from taking the right step in the right direction.
Yes. So life will happen and it will suddenly throw some challenges at you, which will make it impossible for you to, do certain things. So
True.
my advice would be that we should not be too rigid with our routines, self-care routine. We cannot
Yes.
be rigid. We need to
Absolutely.
be flexible. So if
Yes.
life is throwing a challenge at me such that I'm not able to get my workout, regular workout, I can
Yeah.
focus on something else, and it's just
Absolutely.
so much. Maybe hydration is all that I can think of, or maybe just taking a few deep breaths, doing a mindfulness practice during that phase. And it's all a phase.
Yes.
The phase will be over. You can
Absolutely.
get back to your regular routine. So it is
True.
not the end of the world. So here I would say the mindset matter. So we need to train our minds to be more
True.
flexible, to be more resilient, because that is also going to help you with your health. So, which is why I talk
Yes.
about this holistic approach. So we are able to take on life and we are able to be kind to ourselves during the times that we are
Yes.
not able to follow, and we do what we can. So there is much that we can do. Even on days, all you can do is maybe take a few deep breaths. And that is the self-care routine. And you are still on the track. It's not like you have gone off track. So that little bit of consciousness and mindfulness can help you remain positive and not see it as a failure.
Absolutely. I think that's brilliantly put together. A little bit of consciousness and mindfulness is very much required when we want to stick to the right track. And earlier, you also talked about nutrition, how important nutrition is. So, would you please suggest on what are the smaller dietary changes or simple dietary changes that people need to make in order to improve their lifestyle and without feeling overwhelmed?
Yes. So even without going to a nutritionist or having a diet plan, simple things that you can do is incorporate more vegetables. Have 2 to 3 cups of vegetables, variety of colors, so that you make your plate colorful, and have
Yes.
balanced meal plates, so that you're not overeating, using small plates instead of larger plates, and finishing
True.
off one serving before you take the next serving, having more seasonal vegetables and fruits, and
Yes.
making dishes that are palatable. It's not like a salad is
Yeah.
very boring, but it's how you make it. And so that means you are
Absolutely.
naturally making those choices. It's not that the
Absolutely.
healthy foods are don't taste good. So make it more palatable so that you are naturally gravitating towards healthier foods. So simple things you can do, more
Absolutely.
vegetables, include proteins in all of your meals. As we are growing older, you also lose muscle mass. So incorporating proteins in our meals is important. It will also help you stay fuller longer, can help with weight management. So including proteins, balanced meal plate, vegetables, making your plate colorful are some of the things that all of us can do to improve the way we feel more energetic, and using
Uh-huh.
food as medicine.
That's very true. I'm sure most of us would have seen that people stick to say salad as lunch, and the only thing that's there on their plate is a few cucumber pieces, or it could be just spinach, without any protein or any fat or any carb, which is not correct a diet altogether, and they are
Yes,
depriving their body of all the essential nutrients that could have easily helped them to maintain a healthier lifestyle. So,
yes,
how would you, and I'm sure you'd also have come across those
yes,
clients who come
yes,
with this kind of mindset or this kind of diet? How do you assist them?
Yes. So absolutely, we don't want to feel deprived because again, we are talking about making sustainable changes. So whenever a client comes up
True.
with something like this, I ask them, are you going to do this for life? Some of them have not thought about it even, right? Because they just want to quickly do something and you lose weight. That's not a
True.
long-term
True.
solution. So it's important
Absolutely.
to educate a client that this is not how it works.
Yes.
Sometimes they starve themselves, and that doesn't help them at all in achieving their goals. So
True.
education is one, educating them that this is not the right way. And
Yes.
many of my clients have achieved the results with just having a balanced meal plate, including everything, not feeling deprived, and slowly including other habits like movement, which makes a huge difference through NEAT, right?
Yes.
You're burning calories through
Yeah.
non exercise activity thermogenesis.
Not ex-
And
Absolutely. Yes.
getting them to understand what this weight loss is all about, how sleep is an important thing for them to manage their stress, which can help with their weight loss. Stress management, because you're managing the release of the stress hormones, cortisol, which is going to prevent you from losing fat and weight or whatever that you're aiming for. So the influence
Absolutely.
of other parameters other than just diet, your exercise, movement, stress, sleep, it's all comes together to help you. So helping them understand that. So that is the way that I approach with my clients who are depriving themselves by eating very little. So once they understand, it helps.
So we talked about nutrition. Now let's talk about exercise. And obviously, when it is exercise, so consistent exercise or exercise consistency is another very important part of physical and mental and emotional health. So, what recommendations would you have for people who want to maintain a physical healthy life with a consistent set of exercises?
So when it comes to exercise, you want to be consistent. It is important to pick something that is accessible and enjoyable for you. So if you are someone
True.
who likes to play a sport, let's suppose you like playing badminton. So you could, and suppose you live in a community which has an indoor badminton court. So go for that because the chances that you will be consistent will be higher. Pick up
Absolutely.
something you enjoy is very important, especially when you're starting out and on your journey. And as you keep staying consistent, you may have your goals will change. You want to change at least for 3 months. You should stick with an activity, and after that,
True.
it opens up your mind to doing something else after that. So to be consistent, important that do something you naturally gravitate towards, and
Absolutely.
also embrace the idea that some movement is better than no movement.
Yes.
So you must believe in that so that at least you are doing something on a daily basis. And
Absolutely.
mobility is something that is very important for everyone. As we grow older, the mobility of the joints are going to reduce. So maybe something first thing in the morning, you add some dynamic stretches before you get on with the day. Pay
True.
attention to how that makes you feel. You're feeling good, you are going to repeat that action.
Yeah.
So this will help you to be consistent
So
with
one of the
exercise. Yeah.
one of the very important aspects which I thought we should discuss is about sleep. It is often overlooked. People focus more on either nutrition or exercise. Sleep almost moves to the back burner in majority of the cases. So, how exactly people can improve their sleep habits to feel more energized and focused?
Yes, that's a good point. Today, a lot of research has been done, and we know the positive effects that sleep can have on our lives.
Absolutely.
Better sleep habits can translate to better quality of life. And so it's important to prioritize good sleep habits. Sleep can help with your heart health. In fact, there is a recent study that was done that those individuals that have a genetic risk of heart attack, they can offset the risk by having 6 to 9 hours of sleep. So, first thing I would say is ask yourself whether you are getting 6 to 8 hours of sleep in a day. Ask
Yeah,
yourself how the quality of your sleep is. And simple things that you can do is set a time to go to bed and wake up. Same time that you go to bed and wake up can help set a certain routine. Having a sleep routine so that you're signaling to the brain that it's time to wind down. And other habits such as exercising daily for a half hour, spending time outdoors can all impact the quality of the sleep. So you can pick some of these habits that are doable for you, staying away from caffeine after 5 p.m., not accessing gadgets an hour before going to bed, eating something light before going to bed, finishing your dinner 2 hours before bedtime are all the different habits that can improve your sleep. It's for an individual to try it out, experiment, see how that impacts, and then adopt it.
absolutely. I think that's very nicely put together. We need to adopt a certain habit to make sure that we sleep for at least 6 to 9 hours, and that's has been proven by research, and multiple research have already provided a lot of evidence is already available in this aspect. Other aspect is stress, and yes, sleep also affect this aspect to a larger extent. So, how exactly or what strategies would you suggest for people to reduce their stress effectively?
Yes. Stress is another area a lot of us are experiencing, and research also shows that chronic stress can suppress your immune function and can lead to several kinds of illnesses. So it's important to address that. Some of the things that one can do is having a breathwork practice, having a
Yeah.
meditation practice, perhaps a mindfulness practice, spending time in nature, indulging in some hobbies where you get into a flow state can help in release the stress. For your audience, I will teach a very simple breathwork practice. It's called calm and ease meditation.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Whenever you're, yeah, so I'll just teach you that. You can also use it anytime during your day, whenever you're triggered.
Absolutely.
Yes. So how it works is anytime that we are triggered, maybe you are in the traffic jam or you're waiting for someone
Yeah.
or something is not going your way. And now these are the things that kind of trigger us and make us stressed. So during that time,
Yes.
if you can just connect to your breath and use
Uh-huh.
words to help you stay focused on your breath. So as you inhale,
Okay.
you just whisper to
Yeah.
yourself, calm. And as you exhale, you just whisper to
Uh-huh.
yourself, ease. So just say calm
Uh,
as you inhale and ease
uh-huh.
as you
Yes.
exhale. You know?
Uh-huh.
So just do with
Okay.
a few breath cycles. You can do about, say,
Uh-huh.
5 to 8 breath cycles, saying calm and ease,
Uh,
and then
is
respond to whatever that trigger that you're facing. So instead of being
absolutely.
on autopilot, just reacting to things, just come back to yourself, connect with your breath, and try to practice this and see how that makes you feel. A tool which you can use on a daily basis.
Absolutely. I mean, I am definitely going to practice it because most of us are in a kind of world where we can't escape stress. It is just that we need to create environment around us that we stay sane in all the stressful environment, and we are still able to move ahead and do all the physical and mental chores that we are required to do on a day-to-day basis. So one of the things which I feel is very important to understand your coaching style or some of the success stories that you have created in your coaching experience. So could you please illustrate some of your coaching experiences and share with
Yes.
everyone?
Yes. So there are several stories of creating these changes. I'll pick one to talk about. And so there is this one client of mine who still trains with me. She's been training with me for over 6 years now. So when she
Oh,
came in, she had a lot of gastric issues and back pain. So a consistent exercise helped her to address all of her physical concerns with
uh-huh.
lifestyle habits, paying attention to her hydration, to her nutrition habits, sleep, and stress has helped her to improve the quality of her life. Being part of a community of women who are all equally invested in health and fitness has helped her be more confident. And she has now orchestrated her environment now in such a way that all of these have now become routine habits. And she's enjoying a very good quality of life. So it's definitely possible. So if you're listening to me, I would say it is possible. But even with
True.
my client now, after 6 years, most of these are now so regular for her to do. She doesn't have to put in much effort. And it can happen with each one of us. Shift your focus to how you're feeling with any particular action that you're taking and start doing more of those. They will become habits. So many such stories are there. Yes.
So thank you so much for putting that so wonderfully for us. So one last question that I have for you for today's podcast is: could you share top three recommendations that everyone should follow to start their health journey?
Great. So first thing is assess where you are, where you want to go, and what are the barriers that you have. Second, actions and actions alone will bring you result. So you need to take whatever little step every single day. Third thing, getting off track is not the problem. Staying there is the problem. So recognize that you have gone off track and just come back onto the path. It is really that simple.
Absolutely, I think that's very nice when you say you go back, but you recognize the problem that you are in, and then come out of that as a solution, right? So find a place for yourself, try to come out of that situation and be in a comfortable position once again. So
Yes,
stopping is not bad, not starting is bad,
yes,
right?
yes, absolutely. Get started, keep
So thank you
going.
so much. Absolutely. So thank you so much, Purnima, for joining me today for this podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. It was really a great conversation and all the best for all the future.
That's a wrap. Thank you for listening to Fitness Pro Chat by Fiterobic. We hope you had key takeaways from today's episode and learned something new. Don't forget to download and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And leave us a rating and review on your favorite platform. In the meantime, reach out to us on Instagram at Fiterobic or through our website, fiterobic.com. And remember, failures will only make you strong and better learned. Take care, stay healthy, and live a fulfilling life with Fiterobic.